I know you're covering the vice president here. I figured I'd come by and one, just get a good look at the plane, because hopefully it's going to be my plane in a few months. But I also thought you guys might get lonely because the vice president doesn't answer questions from reporters and hasn't for 17 days. Have they given you guys an explanation for why she won't take questions from reporters? No? Nobody? Okay, great. Well, I hope that she changes her mind, because it'd be good for the American people, and I think it'd be good for you all if she actually ran a real campaign instead of one from her basement with a teleprompter. So have a good one, guys. See ya.
Okay, so I got to give, rarely do I ever give awards for trolling. In fact, I don't know that I ever have to another politician like that. That's an epic troll. I think we're at peak election already when you have the vice presidential candidate on the Republican ticket who is standing outside of the current vice president's plane talking to the media about why the current vice president and the Democrat presidential assumed nominee will not talk to the press. We actually don't know where she is. I mean, hell, we could be in war with Iran right now. Where's Biden? Nobody even knows where these people are. She's holed up on her plane. J.D. Vance is literally just walking around the tarmac, like, hey, guys, what's up? So I don't know where any of them are. And I really feel I don't know how people in Washington, how our lawmakers are able to get stuff done. I mean, they're doing their thing. They're getting stuff done. But do they know? Have they even seen the president? Let's ask one. My congressperson, Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne from the Great Republic of Texas. She's in D.C. She's back in the job. And I have to ask you, Congresswoman, I'm going to ask about the job fair and all of that stuff. But obviously, a couple things have happened in the news lately. But before I ask about that, do lawmakers know where the president is? Because we haven't seen him.
I haven't seen him. I mean, we saw him at the State of the Union when he was kind of doped up and, fiery and nasty. But that was really the last time that we've seen him. Now, to be quite fair, I don't get a lot of invitations to go to the White House.
I'm shocked.
But I did today. Actually, I did get an invitation today. I can't go because I've got our job fair, but with actually the Texas Rangers. But go for the Texas Rangers are actually being honored at the White House today. So just a quick shout out on that. But I haven't seen Biden.
Well, at least they're honoring the Rangers. But yeah, my first thought was, they know you're a Republican, right? I mean, did somebody in their office mess up? How did that? Well, and that's, I know we kind of laugh about it and, we're like, where's Biden at? He's in his basement. But at the same time, we see, first off, we had a horrible jobs report. The headlines about the stock market, not any better. We see all this instability with energy in the Middle East. Obviously we're apparently swapping out carrier strike groups, bringing out the Roosevelt, sending in the USS Abraham Lincoln. We're sending in a couple more jets, apparently per Lloyd Austin. I mean, it sounds a little unstable over there with everything that's happening. You would think that we would get maybe some words from the vice president, who didn't bring up the economy or anything at her remarks last night, or the president, who hasn't said anything about it. I mean, people are freaked out. How are you assuring? What are you hearing from people? I mean, how do you even begin to assure people when the folks at the top are MIA?
Well, I mean, we're trying to do what we can practically, but in addition to the problems that you mentioned, you also have what's going on in Japan, where their economy, their stock market tanking. You've got what's going on with Bitcoin and that value tanking. There's a lot of instability in the markets right now. There's a lot of instability around the world. And you've got a president who's not there, and you've got a VP who you haven't seen in the last 3.5 years, hasn't done anything other than cackle and not really complete any kind of meaningful sentences. And now they're trying to completely reinvent Harris as this accomplished, smart woman. Nobody is buying it. And then, you got another person they just add to the ticket, Tampon Tim, out of Minnesota, who, governor of Minnesota, who has just been an absolute progressive train wreck. I mean, between insisting on having tampons in boys' bathrooms to, defending BLM movement when his entire state is on fire, and talking about, providing 30-foot ladders to illegal immigrants if it's a 25-foot wall. I mean, this guy is a disaster. They have doubled down on their progressive far left candidacy, and all the while, we're in this instability, and they are MIA. It is not a good thing. They need to be in front of the press. They need to be asked tough questions, which we all know sometimes the media doesn't do, but they need to be present to be able to answer them. We're not seeing it.
I know that we're talking with Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne out of Texas. I know that Walz was in Congress for some time, and then he is governor of Minnesota. The way that they're trying to present him. And we were playing some cuts earlier of George Stephanopoulos talking about it, some other members of the media, as like he's like this Midwest grandpa. He's a moderate, and he's probably got a bowl of Werther's Originals right by the door for all the kids, the kids who's, he's putting tampons in the boys' bathrooms and all this stuff. The kids who, he signed the thing where the law where, the state can intervene if parents don't want to affirm minors, having experimental gender surgery. This is the guy who is telling everybody, talking about women and healthcare and life issues, told everyone else to mind their own damn business. But wouldn't you classify setting up an actual snitch hotline as not minding one's business? How does he reconcile
it's Big
that?
Brother. Yeah, it's completely Orwellian. Yeah, I mean, but again, it's rules for thee, not for me. And this is what we see from Democrats.
He's no moderate. You know his record, right? He's not a moderate.
It would not appear so if you look at his time during being the governor of Minnesota. He is absolutely not a moderate. If I didn't think it was possible that they could find somebody even left of Kamala, but they appear to have done that. They're doubling down on touching this base that is just completely outside the mainstream of any kind of political party. I mean, the left has gone so far left, it's insane at this point. They can't define what a woman is. They're fighting for tampons in men's bathrooms and boys' bathrooms. It doesn't make any sense. And he was doing this in schools, and then setting up the Big Brother line that you can snitch on your neighbor if they're not wearing a mask.
Yeah,
this is the type of leadership that he has shown. And for anybody to find that as moderate, I wonder what they think excessive is, what they think that far hinges are if this guy doesn't define that.
Yeah, we're talking with Representative Beth Van Duyne. One of the things that we didn't hear from the Kamala Harris yesterday, anything about jobs, didn't hear anything about the economy. Haven't heard anything about that from Tim Walz. Haven't heard anything about jobs. We had I mentioned the horrible jobs report. I know you are one of the people that is advocating for and bringing a lot of awareness to the North Texas Job Fair. And it's huge. We're at a time when people need jobs. Companies are freaked out about hiring and about, projections because they don't know what's going to happen in November. Tell us about this because everybody's coming to Texas to work. I just hope I hope that they bring Texas-like voting records with them. That would be great. Otherwise, we may have to put up some signs telling them to go to Oklahoma that's Texas. But talk to us about this because there's how many people are you expecting out for this? There's hundreds of companies that are there.
We've got 500 companies, and you mentioned a lot of people are moving into Texas, absolutely, because policies matter, and people are voting with their feet, and they're getting out of these states like New York and California, and they're coming to places like Texas that actually value freedom and individual rights. We noticed during the campaign when I was talking to businesses, when I was talking to working families, there was a disconnect. Businesses were trying to hire people. We've got a ton of people in North Texas. We've got more that are moving in, but they're trying to hire people, and those folks are looking for better benefits, better pay, more flexibility on the job, and it was connecting the two. So our office 3 years ago decided that we were going to do a job fair. We did this right after the pandemic and right after the extended unemployment ended because we wanted people to be able to get jobs and be able to be successful and take care of their families. The first one that we put together had over 6,000 people that came to it. We did this again last year, and we had 16 to 17,000 people that came. We have already blown those numbers from RSVPs out of the water. The job fair is going to be August 8th. It's going to be at Globe Life Field. We're expecting 20,000+ people. We are not going to run out of parking this year, being a Globe Life Field, but we've got 2 full decks that are covered with that are going to be covered with tables of people who are hiring. And look, this is some pragmatic, practical way that we can help people. We have made it completely nonpartisan. We've invited all of our mayors, all of our elected officials, all of our chambers to partner with us to host this and send out invitations to everybody. Because at the end of the day, you can't get a lot done in DC right now, but it doesn't mean that you stop working in your district. And finding the need, being responsive, thinking outside the box is exactly what every Congress member and every elected official should be doing.
Now, this is what elected officials should be doing, what you're doing. And you started this in 2021, as I understand. I don't know any other elected official. I don't know why you're the only one doing this. I really wish others would. And I love that you invited every lawmaker, regardless of ideology, because that's the point.
Yeah. It should not be a political or a party idea to get people jobs, to make people independent, to give them the tools to succeed and to be able to provide for their families. Everybody should want this. And perhaps it's my background as a mayor, a local elected official, that I have a very tight a very tight relationship, not only with our mayors and chambers, but also the small businesses that are here. And you talk to them on a regular basis and you find out what their needs are. These aren't just photo ops. You're talking to these people. These are folks. These are not businesses. These are people who are trying to put food on the table, who are trying to take care of their employees, who are trying to build a business and leave generational wealth. These are people. And when you talk to them and you find out their need, instead of figuring out, okay, what's the bill and how much are we going to add to our debt and, and the federal government, what can we do here at home?
Yeah.
And putting together a job fair, it may not be sexy, but I will tell you, every year we get the best response rate as you can
pretty
imagine.
sexy,
People,
though.
yeah, well, over 20,000 people is what we're expecting this year. And I'm telling you, there's 22,000 jobs right now from the 500 businesses that are there. Every industry, every size. And the thing I think it makes this a little bit different than most job fairs is, one, is all under the same roof. But two, nearly a third of the positions are 6-figure and above positions.
Oh, wow.
So it's every level that you can imagine, part-time, full-time. We're going to have different industries there. And in addition, we're also doing a backpack school supply drop. So if people want to pick up school supplies, we've got thousands of backpacks for needy families for their kids going back to school. In addition, we're going to have a separate area for our veterans. So if you are a group that provides veteran services, if you're looking to hire a veteran, we have a separate area just for them. So we really urge everybody to come out. It is absolutely free. None of the businesses are having to pay. None of the people who are looking for a job are having to pay. Parking is completely paid for you. So come out, bring plenty of resumes, bring some comfy shoes. Understand that you're going to have to walk a while, but also be ready to interview. Because last year when I walked the floor, people were hiring people on the spot.
Wow.
And this is literally life changing. So it's a lot of work to do this. I know my team, at the end of the week is going to be ready to drop, but it is so worthwhile.
And that's amazing. Yeah, people hired on the spot. Somebody could go in there not knowing how they're going to make ends meet and then leave knowing that they're set and their family's provided for. People can go to myntxnorthtexasjobs.com and get the information about that. It's tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Globe Life Field as well, put on by Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne. It's the North Texas Job Fair. So that website, myntxjobs.com. Congresswoman, always appreciate it. Thank you for what you do, not just for
Thank you.
the district, but also for America. God bless you. We'll talk again.